In the very first stage, Westopolis, if you activate the hint bubble that explains how to switch guns while Sonic is with you, he will make an interesting comment.
To swap your weapon for another weapon that's on the ground, just press the X button. Personally, I wouldn't be caught dead using those things.
Even though he says this, you can actually see him in Sonic Shuffle using a gun in the Gunslinger minigame. He also uses one in the Olympics Games series during the biathlon activity, as you can see Sonic holding and shooting a rifle here. The texture in the background of the stage select screen features some text that has a lot of very poor English and grammar. It is really hard to read, but if you look closely you can see, "Shadow, what's wrong? You can't escape from your destiny. Shadow, what's wrong? Let's destroy the Nermies working together." In the opening cutscene of the game, Shadow says,
"Just what was that all about?"
But if you look closely at his mouth movements, you can clearly see he was originally meant to say, "Just what the hell was that all about? Just what the hell was that all about?" On all versions except the Xbox version, a second player can plug in a controller and control the buddy that is following Shadow in the current mission. The second player is able to control every companion except for the flying ones. The flying ones are Charmy, Black Doom's Eye, and Dr. Eggman's floating monitor. Some of the partners even have their own unique attacks, but most of them just throw punches to attack enemies. Also, all of them have the homing attack except for Maria, which is kind of crazy because some of these characters have never been able to do that before. Even though Maria can't homing attack, she still has a punch attack and can actually run pretty damn fast too. The Diablon boss fight has Shadow fighting against both Sonic and Diablon at the same time. Diablon is the only one with a regular boss health bar, but Sonic is around to mess with you and help out the boss. Diablon is the only one you actually have to defeat because of the health bar, but at some point in development you would have had to defeat both of them to advance past the fight. There are unused voice lines still in the game's files that show this.
Destroy both that weapon and that blue hedgehog.
No way!
You won't get away with this, Shadow! It's time for you to meet Gun's ultimate weapon!
Good. Now destroy that weapon. Good. Now eliminate that hedgehog.
Shadow the Hedgehog is the first Sonic game with an E10+ rating. Originally the game was supposed to have a teen rating, but the E10+ rating was created while the game was in development. The developers actually even prepared for a possible M rating, as Jason Griffith, the voice actor for Sonic and Shadow, has said in interviews that he did record voice lines for the game that had the F word in them in case they decided to go for an M rating. They had me record 2 takes for every line, and I swear, the version that was for the M rating, they had me say F in every single line. It was just every sentence. I'd be yelling, "Sonic, give me that Chaos Emerald," or something like that. To promote Shadow the Hedgehog in Japan, Sonic Team sponsored a wrestling event that had a fighting ring featuring a photo of Shadow with the game logo. During the event, there was also a Shadow mascot that even spent some time in the ring. He struck some poses for the crowd and apparently even joined the commentary booth to commentate the next match. It's hard to find much information about this event because this was like 20 years ago, but here are some pictures from the event. In the cutscene where Maria gets shot, the screen flashes white as soon as the gun goes off, hiding all of the graphic details. The full scene is actually shown with Maria falling to the ground in an early teaser for the game. If you look closely in Shadow's eyes, you can see a reflection of Maria falling to the ground. This was likely removed because of the decision to go for an E10 rating rather than a T rating as originally planned. About 8 minutes into the final boss battle, you can hear Dr. Eggman reveal a very important detail to Shadow.
Shadow, can you hear me? This might be the last chance I have to speak to you, so what I said about having created you, it was all a lie. Everyone thought you died during that horrible incident, but I rescued you with one of my robots. You lost your memory, that's all. You really are the ultimate life form my grandfather created.
This is the only point in the game where this question is answered. Crazy that this was the way they revealed whether he was the same Shadow from SA2 or not, as most players would not hear this line while playing through the game normally. Plus, the end of Sonic Heroes gives players the opposite conclusion, meaning most fans at the time never would have known this crucial detail. This boss has multiple time-based voice lines, with the one I just showed being the most important one, but there are some others too. Earlier in the fight, you can hear how your friends are struggling to deal with the effects of the gas the Black Doom is spreading. And not too long after the Dr. Eggman voice line, you can hear Black Doom say this.
No, the time has come. Now that the gas has overrun this tainted world, my reign has begun.
He then laughs for like another 15 seconds, but to me this line sounds like a game over type of line. You also don't hear your friends at all after this, which makes me think that they might have died from the gas, which makes me also think that this boss at some point had a timer that you had to race against. The stage Lethal Highway has a dark mission called Escape from the City, which is a reference to Sonic Adventure 2's City Escape, which features a song with that same name. The main theme for Super Shadow has a reference to Sonic Adventure 2 in it. If you listen closely, towards the end of the song, you can hear Live and Learn within the Super Shadow theme. Gold beetles are a rare gun enemy that you can encounter in this game. Because of their rarity, they actually have a unique property to them. In submissions like Westopolis or Iron Jungle, you're required to take out all gun troops in the area to advance. Normally all gun robots and soldiers would need to be destroyed to beat these missions, but these totals never actually include the gold beetles. Destroying the gold beetle will count towards the objective, but doesn't actually increase the amount you need to defeat, meaning it is possible to beat these missions without actually destroying every single gun robot in the level, if you manage to get the gold beetle. The opening cutscene for Mad Matrix actually has a fun little detail that gets referenced later. Prior to the stage starting, we see that Team Chaotix is trying to hack into Eggman's computer with no luck. Shadow thankfully knows exactly what to do.
Well, if it isn't Shadow! Your timing is impeccable! You know that Eggman fella pretty well, don't ya? Well, we need your help to hack into his computer. Don't ask why!
Well, what a coincidence. I'd like to know what the good old doctor's up to as well.
Whoa!
Later in the last story cutscene, we see Team Chaotix once again struggling to hack into a computer. This time, Charmy remembers what Shadow did and takes charge by giving the computer a good old slam, just like Shadow, and it works.
Hey, it's working!
In Lost Impact, a second player is able to control Maria. Maria is a bit special as she can actually hurt Shadow unlike the other playable two-player characters. When Shadow enters one of the turrets, it becomes possible for Maria to hurt Shadow, causing him to lose rings and even die if you have no rings. Another kind of unhinged Maria fact, in this stage she actually makes a comment about how the artificial chaos look cute when they break apart after dying.
Their eyes look so sad. When the research experiments split apart, don't you think they look kind of cute?
The stage Circus Park is most famously known for being the stage where Shadow says,
Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?
but this stage might also sound familiar to Billy Hatcher fans, as the name Circus Park was used by Sonic Team for this level and for a level in Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, which released 2 years before Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog also features an egg vacuum gun that references Billy Hatcher. This gun sucks up any nearby enemies and gets bigger as you suck up enemies. This gun can be unlocked after you complete the Lava Shelter stage and get one of the 2 neutral endings after that stage. When you fully 100% complete a stage by getting A ranks on all missions, a star will appear over the stage in the stage select screen. I personally didn't know about this detail till recently because I suck at this game. Interestingly though, if you decide to 100% all stages, then the entire screen gets covered in stars, making it a bit hard to see which stage is which. All versions of the game except the PlayStation 2 version have slightly broken hand animations for the gun commander in the first cutscene featuring him. There's only one stage in the game that does not feature a goal ring as one of the ways to end the stage. The stage is Central City, where you must instead either detonate or dispose of bombs throughout the city. The stage is extremely non-linear as it has many different pathways to explore, as there was no need for the developers to add a regular endpoint with a goal ring, making it one of the more unique stages in the game. At some point in development, it was planned for Sonic to be playable in the multiplayer mode. He was likely cut as they did not want him holding a gun in the battle mode, but there are Japanese voice lines left in the game's files that would have played if Sonic was added to multiplayer. Sometimes when you are near gun soldiers, you can hear them reference Yuji Naka, the former head of Sonic Team.
Mr. Yuji Naka is alright!
Yuji Naka has stated in an interview with GameSpy that the Shadow the Hedgehog game was potentially going to be a full-on spin-off series rather than just a standalone game. We've had ideas of doing a spin-off series, so perhaps that's what Shadow will lead to. This idea was likely scrapped as Shadow the Hedgehog game sales were not as good as expected from SEGA and critics did not enjoy the game. If you stand idle long enough in boss fights, there will be a voice line that plays relating to the fight. Most of these voice lines are extremely hard to get to play as you often can't stand around long enough without getting hit. Some of them are even impossible to hear, but thankfully we can go into the game's files and listen to the voice lines directly.
What a repulsive creature.
Life form detected. Eggman inside. That robot reminds me of the Egg Emperor.
He won't even attack us head on! What a coward!
Now do you remember? This is what human beings truly are.
Go and show that stupid robot who's boss!
To access all of the library sequences in the game, you have to play Westopolis a total of 326 times, as there are 326 different pathways that the player can possibly take to beat the game. This also means you have to fully play through the story 326 times to truly 100% the game, making it easily the longest Sonic game to 100%. Originally it was planned for there to be gun robots that would drop bombs that Shadow could then pick up and use on other enemies. We know this because there are a bunch of unused voice lines related to these bombs.
I can use those bombs that the gun robots are dropping.
It's a bit dangerous, but you can pick up the gun sentry robot's bombs before they explode.
That robot's giving out free bombs! Help yourself, Shadow!
There are also a ton of unused voice lines for stages in this game. Each stage has at least 3 to 4 unused voice lines, and some of them have upwards of 10. I won't play them all for you here as many of them are uninteresting and it frankly would just take forever, but here are some of the more interesting ones.
That vehicle's pretty tough. Personally, I wouldn't be caught dead in a car without windows.
How stupid are those creeps?
That floor looks booby-trapped.
The Ark. Only Professor Gerald could make an artificial planet like this. That beast is precise and accurate with its piercing tentacles.
No! I'm too young to die!
Want to go for a ride, Shadow? Looks like things are heating up around here. How about cooling things down a bit, Shadow?
No funny business now, Shadow. You won't like it when I get angry.
Guns tried to copy my designs. Sadly, I might add. Get rid of those worthless things.
Is it really right for us to be keeping the aliens in cages like this?
What the? Those nasty little boogers are part alien too!
The stench of evil. Shadow, if you inhale that gas, it'll fill up your dark gauge.
Shadow, please don't let innocent people get caught in your chaos blast.
Whee! Turret! Turret! I want to give it a shot. Take this bomb and toss it over there for a big ba-boom!
The gun that you can see Shadow holding on the cover art for this game is not actually featured or available anywhere in the game itself. The closest weapon to this is probably the RPG, but even that has many differences to what Shadow has on the cover. There's a very easy to replicate glitch involving any box that Shadow can pick up and throw. If you pick up a box and attempt to throw it as you get hit by an enemy, the box will end up floating in place. This glitch breaks its collision and allows you to clip right through it once it's floating. At the end of the Black Bull boss fight, it is possible to really glitch out the game. If you use your hero chaos control right as you defeat the boss, Shadow will repeatedly say his voice line and the game will glitch out quite a bit as the result screen will now have the negative effect that is present during his chaos control.
The ultimate power! Behold the ultimate power! Behold the ultimate power.
There's no way you can stop me.
The timing on this glitch is very tight, so it's a bit tricky to make the glitch actually happen. Don't worry if you mess up though, as it's actually possible to fight Black Bull twice in a single story playthrough. The hero mission for Lethal Highway is where you first fight Black Bull, but you'll fight him a second time if you beat the hero mission of Circus Park after Lethal Highway, which will lead you to Death Ruins, where you fight Black Bull regardless of which mission you do. The only other boss you can fight twice in a single playthrough is the Egg Breaker boss, as it appears in both Mad Matrix and Iron Jungle, which can both be completed in a single playthrough. One last Black Bull fact, the Black Bull boss and the Blue Falcon boss are both references to the F-Zero series, which features vehicles that share the same names as these two bosses. If you manage to complete every mission of the game with an A rank, and I mean every mission, I'm talking Hero, Dark, and Neutral for every stage, if you do that, you'll unlock Expert Mode. Expert Mode requires you to play through every stage in the game in a new order without getting a game over. If you get a game over once, you have to start over. The levels are a bit harder than before with some new obstacles, extra enemies, and in some cases, slightly longer levels. Expert Mode has a small plot to it as apparently Shadow is going through some sort of training now, which is why he's going through each stage again. On Expert Mode, each stage starts with a hint bubble that is voiced by a different character.
Can you hear me? This is going to be the ultimate test of your abilities. Now go! Head for the goal ring!
Hey, Shadow, how you feeling? Your training's just getting started. It might be a little tough, but I know you can handle it. Now, we've got to get to the goal ring. Let's move it.
At the start of Expert Mode, characters mostly just remind you to get to the goal ring and not get a game over. As you progress in Expert Mode, the hint voice lines at the start of each stage get weirder and weirder.
Shadow, it's me. Word has reached the top brass that you're doing well with your training.
Mr. President, you're late for your tea time with the Chief Cabinet Secretary of Japan.
Ah yes, I almost forgot. Shadow, I'll talk to you later.
One of the next stages in Expert Mode is Space Gadget, where you can hear the gun commander say this.
Shadow, do you read me? First, I want to apologize for the other day. Actually, I just became a grandfather last week, and I was thinking of maybe having you over. I know that training is tough, but try and do your best.
Not too much later is Black Comet, which has another interesting voice line for the president.
Shadow, it's me again. Sorry about last time. I've been busy planning the reconstruction.
Mr. President, it's time for your karaoke party with the Minister of Finance.
Ah yes, I almost forgot. Shadow, I'll talk to you later.
The last Expert Mode voice line I'll show you is this one here for Final Haunt.
Hey, Shadow, how's it going?
You starting to feel the pressure yet?
Training!
Charmy, I thought I told you to sit down and be quiet.
Oh, come on, leave me alone. Besides, you ate my pudding, didn't you, Vector?
Ah, busted!
Now you owe me for that, and don't forget it.
All right, fine! Do whatever the heck you want!
Sorry about that, Shadow.
In Mad Matrix, Espio is your partner for the hero mission. Because of this, he will attack egg pawns on site, earning us dark points for our chaos control, even though he is a hero character. Espio actually gets mad at you often for attacking egg pawns, but if you don't attack them, he will just do it himself anyways. The character folder within the game's files contains model data for Shadow, the Shadow android, and friendly NPCs. It also has an unused file called eShadow.1 that contains a copy of Shadow's models with different flags to give a transparent look just like Espio's camouflage ability from Sonic Heroes. This doesn't exist in the final game, but it's clear there was some invisibility power-up planned for Shadow. The artificial chaos enemies in this game have a slightly different appearance than they do in Sonic Adventure 2. They all appear to have splatters of blood on their heads. This could be because of the massacre that occurred on the Ark, but it could also just simply be a redesign from Sonic Adventure 2. Shadow the Hedgehog features a very similar engine and game mechanics to Sonic Heroes. Many of the textures, physics, and models used in that game reappear here. All of the playable characters in that game even return, except for Big the Cat. He is the only one of the 12 characters from Sonic Heroes to not return in this game. Poor Big. Within the game's files, there are unused versions of some of the main menu themes. These unused versions are prototypes or early demo versions of these songs and have some slight differences as a result. Have a quick listen. There is an early version of the Eclipse cannon firing cutscene that remains in the Xbox version's game files. It for some reason has unfiltered audio from both the Japanese and English versions of Black Doom playing at the same time.
Annihilation for this planet is near. It is time to embrace the dawn of your demise and despair.
The SEGA logo at the boot up screen of the game was originally planned to be red for Shadow, as there is a red SEGA logo that can be found within the game's files. There are a few unused textures for the standard gun soldiers. It's not clear where these would have been used, but they do look pretty cool. I personally like the one with the gold visor. Kinda reminds me of a Spartan from Halo. In the game's intro, you can see Shadow holding an MP5 submachine gun and then giving it a good pump as if he was reloading it. This is interesting because MP5s in real life do not do this. Typically only shotguns reload this way, not small machine guns. This hints to us that whoever made this cutscene probably has not handled firearms in their lifetime or played Call of Duty before. The omochao gun is one of the guns that you can unlock throughout the story. You unlock it by completing the Cosmic Fall stage. The omochao gun fires omochao heads when it shoots and is actually one of the better weapons in the game as it can kill multiple enemies with a single shot. In the stage Cryptic Castle, there's a slight oversight with Amy's voice lines. The goal for this mission is to find both Cream and Cheese who are lost somewhere in the castle. While walking around, Amy will say to Shadow,
"Well, did you find her?"
This makes sense for her to say before you find Cream, but she will still say this voice line even after you've found Cream.
"Well, did you find her?"
She's right there, Amy, we already found her. Shadow the Hedgehog received mixed reviews upon release, with many fans criticizing the mature nature of the game. Metacritic gave the GameCube port the best rating as it received a 51% out of 100. The Xbox version received 49%, and the PS2 version received a rating of only 45%. The PS2 version in particular has issues with frame rate and performance that makes it the easy choice for worst version of the game. Shadow the Hedgehog was one of the first Sonic games to feature the cast from the 4Kids show Sonic X. A lot of fans were unhappy with the change in cast of the voice actors, which could be part of the reason the game did not receive good reviews. Ultimately, the voice actors did a solid job though, in my opinion. The company Nuby released a special Shadow the Hedgehog controller to help promote the game. It is one of the most unique PS2 controllers I have ever seen. The controller is pretty rare to see these days, and because of that, it does cost a pretty penny to purchase if you want one of these for yourself. The AI for the gun soldiers is downright laughable. They very often just wander around and shoot in random directions. They will even still continue to shoot if there are no aliens or enemies around at all and only other gun soldiers. Like here, I defeated all the aliens myself, and now they are just trying to shoot each other. What are you guys doing? And that was fact number 50. Let me know in the comments what game you would like to see covered next. You might even end up in the video. If you enjoyed this video, check out my video on Sonic Heroes or my videos on the adventure games. They are just as good as this one. Thank you everyone who clicked the like button. It helps out my channel a lot, and thank you to all the channel supporters. Without you, I would not be able to stream and create content regularly. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.